Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, Gym Bros, it's Big Paul here again today. Sorry, it's been a couple days since I put a video up. Things have been going on, a lot going on with prep and stuff. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about my experiment with intermittent fasting and muscle gains. I know you guys are probably going to shake your head. I've been not a fan of intermittent fasting in the past for bodybuilding, but I think maybe I've changed my mind just a little bit on it. And I'm going to explain to you why I have changed my mind. And now I think that maybe in certain situations that fasting can be good for your gains. We're going to talk about that in just 1 second. All right, so what changed my mind about the whole fasting thing? So let's take a step back. Why I am not a fan of fasting or wasn't a fan of fasting for bodybuilding purposes. Putting yourself in a starvation state where there's no protein, amino acids, carbohydrates, all the things that are necessary for muscle growth doesn't seem smart if you're trying to build a big, powerful physique. Now, does it? But here's the catch in an issue that I have run into over the last few years, and a problem that I think that a lot of advanced bodybuilders hit, is you end up eventually, after pounding all this food, having problems with digestive issues. Most advanced bodybuilders that I talk to end up with some sort of IBS, acid reflux, gut inflammation, bloating, and this can be a problem. A lot of guys also, after pushing hard in off seasons, will tend to have rising insulin resistance, increased fasting glucose levels. Sometimes their A1C will get up above the top or near the top end of what is a safe range. And so I thought to myself, maybe I should give this intermittent fasting BS a try, because I've always thought that a lot of the stuff like these diet fads are just a bunch of hooey for the most part. And trust me, I've tried everything. I try to keep an open mind about stuff. I'm willing to experiment. I'm willing to try new things. I'm willing to keep an open mind. I'm willing to listen to different perspectives, thoughts, and viewpoints, and be convinced to change my mind about certain things. I am not dogmatic when it comes to diet. I do think there are certain strategies that work better for other people. I know you guys have heard me talk quite a bit about carb cycling, but I am open to other approaches, and I don't use the same approach with every one of my clients. Most of my clients I have on a similar approach, but some people I have to try different things because their body just doesn't respond to it. And I think that's what a smart, intelligent person does. They look at a problem and they figure out a way to solve it here the most efficient way possible. So that's what I tried to do here. My problem specifically, I do have some rising insulin resistance in the off season, and I've used metformin in the past to address that. I do have IBS and sometimes IBS flare-ups, gut inflammation, bowel inflammation. Most of the issues with IBS are related to inflammation and gut irritation. And so what would be a better way to give your gut time to heal and to take a break than to just not eat for a given period of time? It would make sense that you're giving your gut a deload in a sense, as you would your body if you're overtrained. My gut is overworked. Let's give it a break from the food. Let's let inflammation settle down. Let's let it heal. Let's let it have some time to adjust. So I thought, heck, instead of doing a low day, I usually do 1 low day per week. Let's just not eat for 24 hours straight. That's not going to cause any significant loss in muscle. I don't think so. Is it the most optimal way to gain muscle? Probably not. You want to have amino acids present at all times. But I think with the other things that we have in play, growth hormone, PEDs, that at a bare minimum, you probably can preserve and not lose muscle during a 24-hour fast. I don't think you're at risk of losing muscle with the PEDs at play. You're not going to be growing. So you are losing an opportunity to grow, but how much are you going to grow if your stomach is upset, if IBS is flared up, if insulin resistance is rising? So I thought to myself, let's give my gut a break. Let's see what happens, and let's see how I respond when I go back to my regular diet after taking a break and hopefully avoiding these IBS flare-ups that I have anyway, because sometimes these are forced fast anyhow. I ended up with diarrhea or acid reflux or throwing up sometimes in the past when I've had really bad IBS flare-ups, and I can't eat for pretty much 24 hours anyway. So why not? Let's just program in some breaks and avoid that. Having diarrhea all day long, throwing up from having IBS or having an IBS flare-up is not good. Having that much inflammation, that's not good. So let's head this off at the pass. So what I did through this past off season, I would take 1 day a week and just fast. I would finish my last meal probably around 8 p.m. the night before, and I wouldn't eat again until 8 p.m. the following night. And when I would break that fast, I would make sure that I didn't binge. I think this is where most people screw up when it comes to fasting, is they come out of that fast and they binge on trash food and probably ruin any benefit that they would have gotten from the fasting anyway. The way I did it is I would just have a large steak, seasoned with nothing but salt and maybe some pepper, and probably a cup and a half, 2 cups of rice, something like that. 100 grams worth of carbs from rice. Or maybe a couple baked potatoes, 1 or 2 baked potatoes and a steak. That's probably less than 1,000 calories in that meal. And that's how I would do my low day. And what I found this off season, this is the leanest I've ever stayed in an off season. I lowered the amount of IBS flare-ups I had. I usually have like one every 3 to 4 weeks. I think I maybe had one my entire off season. I've only had one bad one so far on contest prep in 3 months. And I think what this did is give my gut a break. I haven't been doing the fasting on contest prep because I'm at a reduced calorie intake anyway. But during the off season, what I would do is do the fasting. The next day I would have a high day, my normal high day. And there also seemed to be some sort of supercompensation effect that happened. I also noticed that my fasting glucose levels stayed lower. My A1C was the lowest it's ever been after an off season, even with additional growth hormone use. I kept my gut healthier. I kept my A1C lower. I kept my insulin resistance lower. My insulin sensitivity was better. And I came into prep in a much better position than when I was constantly pushing food before. Now, here's another cool thing. I never mentioned this, and Roman Fritz, in a conversation that we have in a group chat, brought up that he was doing the same thing in the off season, which kind of made me laugh. He was doing a very similar approach. I think Roman was also using some metformin on that day to help with insulin sensitivity. I wouldn't do that because metformin can upset your stomach, and I was trying to give my stomach a break from everything. I didn't take any supplements. I didn't take any oral steroids. I didn't drink anything but water when I did my fast, just to give my stomach a complete break from everything. And I have to say that I have changed my mind about fasting. I apologize to the guys that I made fun of before. Now, at the end of the day, when it comes to some sort of fat loss magic or anything that comes from fasting, I don't think it's really any different. This is the same amount of fat loss that you're going to have. At the end of the day, it's just net energy balance for the week. I don't think there's any magic to fasting when it comes to fat loss, but I do think there is some benefit when it comes to inflammation. I do think there is some benefit when it comes to giving your gut a rest for the IBS. I do think there is some benefit when it comes to insulin sensitivity. And if we can keep all those things under control, we're going to make our digestion better on the days that we are eating food, and we're going to better utilize that food if our insulin sensitivity is better. Now, if you're young, you have a healthy gut, you can handle everything, I say push as much as you can. But if you're somebody that's older and has gut issues, or even a younger guy that has gut issues, somebody that struggles maybe with insulin sensitivity a little bit, this might be an option to consider. It's not something that I've rolled out to my clients yet because I like to experiment with things myself first and see how it goes before I make a confident recommendation on it. But I feel like it was very beneficial for me. I feel like that it worked very well. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got on this one. I appreciate you watching. Please let me know in the comment section below what you think about intermittent fasting and if there is any benefit to it when it comes to bodybuilding, or if you think it's just a bunch of hooey. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you watching this. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.